This channel is for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence before making any investment decisions.
Hi, this is Joe Rabil. So what I'm going to talk about today is a master class in how to look for and confirm a 1, 2, 3 reversal. All right, I want to make sure we understand. I talked about this a little bit on the Friday video with respect to the market, but I want to go into a little bit more detail, give you a few different examples in graphic form so you can really see what I'm looking for. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you want to learn some more about some of these techniques, I would start with the book. All right. Now, I do have a lot more information on these types of reversals. They are in the book, but there's a lot more examples of this and different forms of it in the courses. So anyway, this is a good place to start. You can click the link in the description area to get more information also. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button and also subscribe. Okay, I want to simplify this process as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is to show you in terms of a graphic form first, and I'm going to give you a couple of stock examples in real life. But let's just look at, so this green line represents the trend on the higher time frame. Now, typically, we're looking at like an 18-month line, right, of some sort, or 18-week or 18-day. It can be in any time frame, but this would be the higher time frame, 18, or essentially the trend of the higher time frame. All right. Now, typically those are aligned, meaning the 18MA is going to do a pretty good job of aligning with the trend if it's rising, and certainly if it's above the 40. All right, but if we have this trend to the upside, if we have a confirmed uptrend on the higher time frame, on the lower time frame, we can be a little bit more aggressive with our 1, 2, 3 entries. All right. Now, the way I look at it, this is how I handle it. Now, you can do versions of this. You can really do whatever you want. I'm just giving you the way that I kind of look at things. So if we're in an uptrend on the upper time frame, that's the time frame I'm trying to get in. I know this is showing up. This is a daily. So the blue would be the daily, the weekly. If this is an 18-month line, then this would be the weekly trend working its way back. All right. And it's working its way back to support on the higher time frame. Now, when we want to get in is when the first sign that we're seeing that we're getting back in line with the higher time frame, meaning this time frame is up, and right now this time frame is working down. So when I have an uptrend on the upper time frame, I can be a little bit more aggressive. So I'm looking for a trend line break can be an entry at times, depending on how soft the pullback is. And I measure that using MACD and ADX. I don't want to go into that today. That's thoroughly covered in the course. I go into a lot of detail as to how to handle the different versions of, there's a lot of different versions of this 1, 2, 3 based on what the MACD and the ADX are doing. However, if you understand the basic concept of this, I think it's going to help you a lot. So we've got this blue, and I've outlined this, and I want you to think of this more like a zigzag, okay? And if you notice, we made a move to the downside, we rallied up, and then we made a lower low. All right, so we can draw our trend line in, and we find support at the next higher time frames, 18. Then we make a move to the upside, which breaks the downtrend line, but it does not take out the high from the previous peak. All right, so we're showing signs of improvement, breaking the trend line and creating the 1 in a 1, 2, 3. All right, but we haven't shown the kind of strength that if you eliminated the trend line and you just looked at the price action, is it making a higher high? Because that would be a bull alert if it were doing that. In this case, it is not. But because we're playing in tune with the higher time frame, I'm still willing to watch for the 2. If we get a 2 on this time frame, and a lot of times what I'll do is this is pulling back, I will go down one more time frame. Let's just say this is the monthly line. This is an 18-month trend, this is the monthly trend, all right? This is the weekly trend in blue. And then what I would do is go down to the daily trend on the daily chart on this pullback and look for signs of a reversal on this time frame to really get myself in off of this low. The other way you can do it is you can wait for the zigzag to work its way from down to up, right? It was down, and once it turns up, it doesn't have to take out this high because we're in an uptrend on the bigger trend. All right, we've got the bigger trend in our favor, so I'm not waiting for the 3. All right, now let's just look at another example here. So let me clear this off. All right, now this time we have the same pattern. Everything's the same. The difference is that when we broke the trend line, the move to the upside took out this prior bar. All right, now nothing really changes in terms of our entry because we're still waiting for this to complete a 2. We want to make sure this makes a bottom. However, this is a much stronger pattern than the prior one because we're already in a bull alert status. We're not making a pattern of lower highs and lower lows still. We are actually making a bull alert. All right. Now, because the higher time frame is up, I'm still willing to play here on both of them. It doesn't really matter in this situation. All right. It's not as important to me whether we've taken out this high or not. I'm making sure we've made a 1. And then again, if it's a soft landing with not a lot of strength in the MACD to the downside and not a lot of strength in the sellers to the downside, then I could just play the trend line break. But I would say most cases, you're waiting for a little bit more confirmation in this higher low. Now, in this situation where we make the higher high, if you can do it, I definitely recommend going down to this time frame and trying getting in a little bit earlier. All right, meaning I'd go down to a daily. If this is a monthly, weekly in blue, I would go down one more time. All right, and look at using that third time frame for an earlier sign than having to wait for the zigzag. And why is that? Because I already know I've got an uptrend on the higher time frame. I've got a bull alert on this time frame. So I know that the moment this makes a higher high here, we've flipped this trend to the upside. Okay, so I'm willing to play the 2 when we're in a long-term uptrend and be a little bit more aggressive, even playing it off of smaller time frame. All right, now some people would even go down to even an hourly or something like that to make sure they get in very early. I have no problem with that as long as you're abiding by good money management principles and good trade principles. And what I mean by that, and this is where the masterclass comes in. All right, now, so what I would say is that if I'm doing this trade and I want to get in on the weekly time frame, even if I'm entering off the daily, all right, I'm going to use weekly risk to determine how big a position I'm taking. All right, so I don't want to go, let's say I use an hourly and I use 2 times the ATR on the hourly to put my stop in. Well, I'm likely to get stopped out of that trade a lot more often before it works in my favor. So I'm not trying to force the issue in that regard. Now, you can do that. You could do that as long as the stop goes below the low of the pullback on the weekly chart. You could pull that off. It's just you have to realize it might take 2 or 3 stabs to get in. All right, but if it works out, you know you're going to make significantly more relative to your risk trading that way. All right, now what I would tell you is that typically what I would suggest is using weekly risk. All right, playing it off the weekly, but I'm improving my timing. I'm getting a better entry. The odds of me getting stopped out of this trade shrink dramatically if I get good entry off the daily chart, and I know that I've got the principles in place. All right, now let's look at something a little bit different. So let's say we're in a downtrend, okay, and we break that. We create a 1, all right, and we don't make the higher high. All right, we don't have a higher high here, and we pull back. I am not looking to play this. I mean, I'm just not. And even the 3, I am not playing this either. Why is that? Because I'm playing against the trend. So what do I need to have happen? I need to not only do that, I need to get another higher high. Well, I need to make the higher high, and then I need to make a higher low. Now, This even would be a little bit on the aggressive end, frankly, depending. Now, the way I determine whether I'm playing the second two, right? This is the first two. The second two in this situation is whether, I'm looking at the momentum underneath. If the momentum has improved a lot and I like what I'm seeing, it also will depend on if we're clearly breaking the 18 on the higher time frame. If we've clearly done that, then I'm willing to play the 2. If not, then I'm going to want even a little bit more confirmation in this situation. All right. So still pretty important to recognize that we need to know 2 things. We're not only breaking the downtrend line, we're also having to break the prior bars, the prior swing high, to get a little bit more confirmation. If we don't, then we're still in a process of making lower highs. All right, we want to break that chain of lower highs. Once we do that, then we know we have a bull alert. That improves things a little bit, but in the situation where you're going against the trend, you need more confirmation. All right. Now let's look at the last example I'm going to use in this graphic form. So now this time we have the same thing. We break the downtrend line against the bigger trend. Against a bigger trend, we break the downtrend line. That's a 1 in a 1, 2, 3 change in trend, right? This is the 2. Now, notice the difference. We made a higher high here, all right? Because we've made a higher high, then it doesn't mean I'm playing the 2, all right? I am still not playing the 2 because I'm going counter to the trend. But what that means to me is after it makes a new high, I can play this pullback. So as this comes in, comes down, as this is turning up, I'm willing to do that. Why is that? Because I know I've already changed the trend on this time frame. Now, we typically when this takes place, you'll want to confirm that we've broken the 18. I mean, if this is all taking place below a declining 18 MA, even here, then I'm still not playing. I'm waiting for this to cross back to the upside. But if you're in the area of the 18 or above the 18 in any significant way, then you can play this second 2 without any reservation because we've already shifted the trend. Remember, the trend shift is where we go from a lower low to a higher high and then make a higher low and a higher high. So this is the sequence here. When we do that, we've reversed the trend when we come back here on this time frame. So we want a little bit more confirmation when we're playing counter, but we can play this higher low there. Let's look at a few stock examples. Let's just start out with this AMD. I think this is a really good example of a stock that was in a downtrend. So if we're looking at the longer term trend, right, and we're making lower highs and lower lows, all right, now look at what takes place as this is rallying up to the upside on the weekly chart. On the daily, we can outline the zigzag and we can see that we went to a lower low here, right, and then immediately off the low. So right off this bottom, as we're driving up, we drive off this bottom, we make a higher high. All right, so that's a bull alert. All right, now by the time this thing reached that peak there, we had actually made a bull alert on this time frame as well. All right, now I didn't draw the trend line in correctly, so that's not really a trend line break, but it's a move to the upside that is showing a bull alert on both time frames. Now, in this situation, we don't have a trend on this time frame. We're in a downtrend we're trying to reverse. So on this time frame, we need a little bit more confirmation. So we make the move up, we pull back. Now the moving averages are kind of showing things are starting to shift, but and then we make the higher high. Now notice the difference here. We went from so this peak here, we made a higher high. So we went from new low to a new high, made a higher low, and then made another higher high right here. So right up at here, we have kind of confirmed trend change. Now, because this is a shift, this is going counter to the bigger trend. We don't have an uptrend on this time frame. We have to wait for a little bit more confirmation. Now, typically, I would say if we get the full reversal, which takes place here, making the higher high, then you can typically play the higher low. But notice how small of a pullback this was. It was a tiny little pullback. So I would be waiting for this to make that second higher high, crossing the 125 level, getting back above both of these levels over the last few months, and that would confirm a nice trend shift on this time frame where you already have good momentum in place. All right, even though this is playing counter to this trend. Now, there is one thing that's important about this. If you're going to manage this trade, you need to manage it off the daily. You can't do it off the weekly because you're going counter to this time frame, right? So if you're going to play this, you have to kind of play it as a trade and play it a little bit more aggressively. Let's look at AVGO. This is an interesting setup because if you look at it on the longer term monthly chart, you can see we've got an uptrend in place. All right. We had a deep pullback here, but it still made a higher low. It's still making a higher low. It's still got rising moving averages. The momentum signs are very good. So this is qualifying as a uptrend on this time frame. All right. Now, we had a strong uptrend on this time frame as well, but then look at what happens. We get an ABC correction. All right, that's not a full-fledged reversal. It's an ABC, meaning we make a low and then we make a lower high and then we make a lower low. That's it. We haven't reversed the trend or anything. And we know that the bigger trend is still up on this time frame. The other thing that you notice is that on this decline, we don't have a lot of strength in the selling. And notice how the MACD held the zero line and we don't have any selling strength on this time frame. So in this situation, you could add in a third time frame and look to play the 1, 2, 3, breaking the downtrend line, turning back up. Now, in this situation, because of what's taking place on this time frame, I would wait for this to move to the upside, especially with some of the selling that had taken place here. But I think, once we see the pinch play develop in signs of a turn and we get that 1, 2, 3 reversal. Now, I'm not waiting for a little bit more confirmation of this crossing above because I know I'm in a strong uptrend on this time frame and I'm only having ABC on this time frame. So it's a little bit different, but that's how I think there are different alternatives in the way that you can look at this. By moving in at this level, you're sort of taking advantage of the fact that we know we don't have a lot of strong selling in the middle time frame, while we know that this big time frame is to the upside. Now, again, if I'm going to play this in this way, I'm sort of playing it as a monthly and a weekly combination, and I'm using the daily to enter. So I want to use the average true range on the weekly chart here, all right, rather than the daily. You can do it off the daily if you want. The problem with it is if you're trying to really get in tune with the bigger trend, you're likely going to have a hard time staying in the trend because you get stopped out on a pullback because you're not using a wider stop because you're using 2 times the ATR on the daily chart. So hopefully this makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.